Through the box, smoke is up in his face. A tap on his way. That's a bit of spam to follow up. Caron, and now a lot more to do. Spike being defused, stuck fully in TENZ there to defend him. Sentinels are still alive in this map. They're not going to be going down one map just yet.
6 chances for Gen.G to close, now down to 4. The Sentinels pick up 2 retakes, both times happy to allow Gen.G to get into the site, but then making sure that they deal with any extraneous threats. I mean, in this situation, they had a big player advantage too. It was a nice shot from Zekken. He's gonna now pick up the operator heading into round 21.
Sorry. Aduh, suaranya gak ada, sorry, maaf guys. Halo guys. Hari ini kita nobar ini ya.
Salvage that money together, but he's found many targets. Still a smoke in his face. We'll push him back.
Error gua guys.
Texture's even watching just in case he is updraft up onto the box. They don't like what they see. They got to know that the money is available for that operator. It should be at the back of their minds as long as they're looking at the scoreboard.
That flash down A short, and now the Trailblazer indicating that Munchkin did not find an early timing. Sentinels were not sure, but now they should have a good idea that this is actually the pack of Gen.G.
How do you anchor it? Locked down, it's unconventional. Doesn't really stretch all the way out towards this A side. Sassy, drone, spots it. They're wondering if this is potentially fake pressure. TENZ overstaying it, just about escaping. 50 HP though, and now it's being fully committed. The volley at their feet as well. They are separating these players, picking them apart. Nobody is allowed to anger this site. Instead of an execute, the pit drop down, man. And TENZ has got to make a play. He's already found it, whipping it around. Meteor, rifle in hand, leaving it to the 2. And only the Blade Storm. A rifle for John QT. They're going to need to be handed a couple of easy kills, but Meteor will not give them anything at all. A 4K to finish up the map. Haven is theirs.
Sentinels with a map pick that I think made some degree of sense. They had the VOD advantage, the tape advantage, and could try to anti-strap what Gen.G were bringing. At the end of the day, those holes though, ironed out, and Texture looking fantastic with over 300 ACS to open up champs.
Yeah, unreal performance by Texture. He's looking to really just grab not just another trophy, but also that undisputed title. We've still got plenty more of the series. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Genji ternyata menang ya guys. GG Genji. Tapi kalau kata kalian nih ya guys, kata kalian siapa nih yang bakal jadi pemenang nih? King Texture atau King TENZ? Kalau kata gua sih King Texture ya yang menang. Sebentar, kita sih enak nih, kelihatan kalau ada kalian. Tapi kalau menurut gua nih ya guys, Texture nih kayak main apa ya? Dia itu kayak main perang-perangan gitu. Tapi gue juga nggak tahu sih ya, kayak gimana pertandingannya.
First map. Now solo, we know that Genji is known for very amazing energy.
Ada translate-nya nih. Kayak biasa nih guys.
How differently did the team prepare for this particular match? We have Jen to help with some translation.
감독님 오늘 선수들 표정만 봐도 뭔가 평소 때는 굉장히 즐겁게 게임을 하는데 오늘은 좀 더 진지하게 좀 몰입을 하는 모습이었거든요. 센티넬 상대로 특별히 준비했던 부분이나 마음가짐의 변화가 있을까요?
확실히 챔스기도 하고 저희가 또 서울에서 하는 것만큼 유일하게 저희가 센티넬한테만 졌기 때문에 그래서 무조건 이기고 싶다? 뭐 그런 게 좀 진지해, 무조건 이겨야겠다는 생각이 있어요. 개막전이기도 하니까.
Yeah, of course, we were taking things more seriously because it's champions, also the first match of the champions in front of the home crowd and our home ground. So we are motivated, and they're the only team that beat us at a global event. So for us, we really, really wanted this win. So yeah, everybody's just getting their focus in.
Biasa guys, ada translation.
A lot riding on this match. Let's see if Genji
can nggak sih guys?
Well, Mika, they're one step closer to being able to do so with that victory on Haven, as Sentinels picked that map thinking maybe they had a little bit of a read based on what they saw at the playoffs of Pacific, but instead, exactly what Brennan Sideshow said, they ironed everything out, they managed to plug the holes, and they walk away with the win.
And I think we did see those issues to start. I think Sentinels had a lot better solutions to A lobby control on their attack. They were getting a lot of early advantages because of that. But then it was these Gen G retakes on their defense that I think defined their game with a lot of really fast adaptations, Clint.
Yeah, no. They do a really good job of coming up with unique ideas on the fly. There's so many rounds where they're just like coming at you from angles you're not expecting.
At the same time sometimes.
Yes, exactly. Like they're really good about coordination. One of the best things that Gen G has in their arsenal is that they are extremely patient and they are always trying to work together, always trying to make sure that their retakes are in unison, that the players are swinging together, all those things. That's what it's made them. One of the things that has made them so good.
One of many.
One of many.
The casters were talking about this, but I think they did a really good job of varying the pace at their retakes. We saw a lot of those fast flood defenses that they're known for, but also a lot of slower rounds where they were leaning into those set retakes on B, on C that were also really effective. Sentinels in Madrid was known as a team that was great at disrupting teams' retake attempts, and I think it was really impressive how Gen G was able to shut that down and still find success on these set plays.
Yeah, I'll say one thing. When we swapped sides, though, when we were seeing Munchkin with those lurks, I mean, that was devious. That guy gave him no quarter whatsoever, Clinton. Like, is that what we should be expecting as we get ready for Ascent?
He doesn't do it as much on Ascent. It's more like a Lotus, Haven, like some of the maps where he has a little bit more room to maneuver kind of thing. But it's because he does such a good job preparing. He works his absolute butt off studying these teams. Like they talked about it in Shanghai where everybody else is playing ranked and grinding. And he's out there with an iPad just watching teams 16 hours a day, just trying to get reads on them. So that's part of the reason he's able to do some of these lurks.
Jeez.
And I mean, some of these rounds Gen G were winning were honestly criminal. The pistol round and this texture clutch
Emang bukan main Valo lagi, guys. Udah kayak main apa ya?
The really good setups in team play. Their individuals
udah kayak main Call of Duty ini mah.
Like that off. If those two clutches didn't come through, this would have been a lot closer a game, and I think would have given a lot more opportunities for Sentinels to build some momentum into this.
Yeah, well, and that goes back to what we talked about in the pre-show. That Gen G wins round, they have absolutely no business winning. Yeah. And this happened in the pistol. It happened in that round with Texture. 3 HP. He's the one peaking those angles with the ops, too. They're holding in one case. TENZ is just holding that angle, and Texture still wins that battle. That's how fast he is. And moments like that is what make this team so difficult to go against, because you can be as prepared as you want. You can set up great crossfires, do a lot of good things, and Gen G can still break you.
I do think it does bear mentioning, though, that this was kind of something we saw in Americas as a problem for Sentinels. These slow starts. In their 2 matches that they ended up losing, they only won 2 pistol rounds in them. And it was the same here. They're losing out on pistols. They're starting slow. They're not getting the opening picks and setting, I think, Zekken up for those big moments he's known for. And this is a really scary prospect, I think, now going into map 2 against a team who looks like the best in the world.
Well, you know, you mentioned Zekken. I think you saw the, his stats at the bottom there. And I think it wasn't, like bad necessarily from him, but it was what you were saying.
I think it was by his standards. He's normally lights out like that.
Well, I was going to say that we praised him for his consistency, but something you had noted was he never really had an opportunity to like get going, you know? And I think that again is just another credit to Gen G for being able to identify that, shut it down, and handle business.
Yeah, I mean, there were rounds like in the final round. He's got the Blade Storm and stuff, but the round's basically over by the time he gets there. Like, Gen G is doing such a good job of picking players apart, finding those early picks. I mean, the first blood percentage for Gen G has been through the roof throughout this entire unit. It's not just Texture. It's everybody on that squad is really good at finding those first bloods. We saw with the Munchkin lurks. Meteor does a great job with it, anchoring sites as well. So all of those things create tremendous problems for any team they go against, whether it be Sentinels or anybody, and you're left scrambling to try to find answers.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, I think it goes without saying that this Gen G team is so well put together. But now, let's go ahead and see what we're going to get as we get ready for map number 2, Ascent on the horizon.
Map number 2-nya apa nih?
You know, with Ascent, not much
changes
with this. Right,
okay, Icebox.
Standard is usually going
Mine,
to be.
Sunset.
Again, you look at this, you look at Gen G and the way that they're playing. I mean, this is dangerous territory right now for Sen.
It certainly is, but Sen is starting on the defense. I think the biggest win conditions for them to get online here is number 1, getting Zekin back into positions where he's getting opening
Gotta get that
kills,
groove
get that
going.
operator online. If he gets into the groove, that's make or break. But the other question is, what comp are they going to be playing here? Because they were experimenting with a lot of the deadlock ideas
Oh, yeah,
in
that's
stage
right.
2. Some of it I think was better than others, and I felt like this Ascent map needed a little bit more work. You compare them to a team like Leviathan, who is also playing that agent, and I felt like they didn't have the same depth of ideas and strategies. built
Kayaknya
up
ini yang
around it.
menang
But they've had a
Ten.
lot of time now to
Kayaknya ini
prep.
menang
This is the
ini
idea they were
lagi guys
committing to.
ya.
Yeah, I'm really
Yang menang,
curious about that, 'cause I don't think there's going to be any
Genji
change in what
lagi.
Genji does on this map in terms of agent comps. I'd be shocked. I might have a heart attack and fall off the stage if they do, because they're.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Let's get the cameras on you for that one. You know?
Yeah, please don't. But no, I mean, like, they're the best team in the world on Ascent in my book. They were undefeated on it in Stage 2 of Pacific. Very few teams have been able to beat them. So it is going to be the kind of comps that both teams have been running with. And for Sentinels, I think for me, the biggest thing about Deadlock is you have to be so smart with how and when you're placing your utility and how you're playing off of it.
Lumayan nih.
In a weird way, reminds
Ada
me of
Omen,
Yoru, where it
Cypher,
requires a
Jet,
tremendous
Deadlock,
amount of
Sofa,
coordination and a tremendous amount of
Omen,
discipline to play
Ayo,
it properly. But if you
Killjoy.
can pull it off, it looks amazing.
I think Deadlock is really strong on the attacking sides, how you can stop flood defenses, how you can set up those sensors to really build incredibly strong post plants. But on the defense, I think that Genji's style plays well against it. We saw this when G2 played Sentinels. The slow default style, working around the utility, breaking it down. I think Genji is good at that. But Sentinels have a lot of tools. This is a
Tapi ini lumayan loh guys.
out of it for Sentinels, and they
Kalau
have a
kata
chance
gue
to
ini
come back
oke
into
nih.
this series if they can look good.
Yeah, this is a big opportunity for the Sentinels to be able to climb their way.
Tapi yang susah tuh di bagian
back into this
jetnya
series.
sih.
But for Genji,
Soalnya jet tuh kalau gue pakai nih ya, kalau gue pakai jet, itu kalau gue pakai ulti agak susah juga. Mau ini, mau pencet tapi gak kena gitu.
Would be massive.
Yeah, that's right. Genji just one map away from avenging their loss at Masters Madrid. Let's see if they can pull it off in front of the home crowd and send it back over to your casters, Brendan Sideshow.
And Genji are the heavy favorites here. I mean, this is an Ascent map that they are potentially the best in the world at, I think, currently, for teams at the event.
Yeah.
They look so damn good, and for Sentinels, as much as there's not been a lot of tape on them with this comp, it is not a good map right now for them. They have to come out with some miracles, and it has to start here with the pistol round.
They've gone for that double sheriff approach.
And a double fight out through, straight from tiles. Does not work out in their favor. Play at disadvantage now.
Munchkin figuring out, how can I go for a lurk against this? It's a decent counter to what Munchkin was doing on the previous map, but also the fact that the wall is used so early, generally, you want to be playing slow attack sides.
Tapi lihat aja nih.
Struggles to get value.
Lakia might be considering a drone up close here. John, he's got a grab net. Slow down the approach here. There's a flash overhead as well, but now looking to try and anchor back and away. Sassy supplementing it. Couple of shots now fired off and rattled in through the smoke. No punish just yet. Still dropping down low, but it all lays down now into the lap of John QT. What can he do? A lot of players now here in the drop down, skipping a hop right through, and it does set up the bait and switch. Caron happy to oblige. Straight in there. Now the plant coming online.
Zelsis coming around behind as well. Are they going to think about B main when they just exec from this?
Crossfire, it should be nice. Not quite. Munchkin was the only one to actually collect any sort of B main presence. Now walking his way through, baiting, Texture, dropping back and away, Texture and Caron. These guys have been difference makers. And once more, they're going to stand to the test here. The dart is avoided and dodged to the back.
Okay.
The shot just not connecting for Sassy. Only 4 HP and a dream it will just remain to be. It's a pistol round for Genji. Nothing out of the ordinary for this squad.
Not at all. 3 out of 3 in the series. I think it would be wrong to say that Haven came down to the pistol rounds. I think Genji were the better team there. But an entire series where you don't win pistols is almost impossible to win. Sen need to be working on these. They didn't get a good beginning to it, and Genji managed to close it out there towards the end as well. Just hitting good shots, double body shots all over the place with those sheriffs.
Gamble here by Sentinels. Knife not dodged just by Zelsis, I believe. He's the only one who looks like he is suppressed right now. hoping that Gen G might just walk into it, but
Yeah.
Listen, they weren't born yesterday, but this team are too diligent.
It's quite a nice trap play, though, because if the cam is found over towards B, you're expecting trap plays to be run off the Cypher cam usually. And this one's off deadlock contact. So I think there's a chance that it gets value, especially considering Munchkin and Karen's positioning. But right now, they're not taking an inch.
No. No steps forwards. Waiting it out. Making either team stew, to be honest. It's a series of unknowns going through their heads.
And as TENZ takes contact, this whole trap is going to fall to pieces.
Paranoia in his hands. He's just jiggling out with the util. Does get a good connection. The player's going to be pushed back and away, and a TP as well for himself. Just to disengage. Gravnet calling. The play is made. Karen! You got to be joking. Just with that Sheriff in hand. Goodness me. Even when the ideas are good, even when they try and go for the preemptive strike, it's still not good enough. I got to see that again. Show it from his POV or something, man. I mean,
the amount of 4Ks that we're seeing coming out from Gen G as well, where one player just steps up and takes over the round.
Yeah.
Karen's got 8 kills already. What on earth are we watching? And that means they've got 3 rifles for the bonus too. I mean, take a look at these shots. Gravnet comes out.
Listen, dude, I mean, come on. I know it's an eco, but still, as a Gravnet, he's locked down in place.
Yeah.
He's ice cold.
Sentinels, Odin comes online for Sassy. He can try to reinforce the B site. It's super difficult to get through right now. A nice shock dart from Lakia as well, getting rid of that sonic sensor. I don't think John pulled it back in time. B looks devastatingly difficult to hit though, especially if Sassy was Odin wallbanging this, but he is rotating off.
Timing potentially missed there. 4 Sentinels up through mid. Gen G has the makings of a B split, putting a lot of pressure and asks onto Zelsis.
So the cam covers this. Off cam contact, Sassy can spam, but it's not a great spam angle. It's good for damage, not good for kills usually.
That tags onto Zelsis. The setup is going to be dropped down and away here, walking through.
I say that.
Sassy, bit of spam damage, just through the choke point. Gen G's still going to get easy access though to that B site, so Plant will be online and inside for them. Second, biding his time, hoping that somebody will just open themselves up, but as the doors drop down, TEXTURE! You gotta be joking!
You're not allowed to do that!
There's no way! Running and gunning inside the cloudburst. Take your names. 4v4.
Store.
Too much to clear, surely. Meteor crouched up. This is unorthodox in terms of the angle, and of course it is. Rips them all away.
Dismantling all of the trap setups here, taking out the cam early, making sure that Sassy doesn't have that wallbang spot. He goes over, gets a kill in the other side, and then Gen G are pulling kills out of really unexpected spots. The one from TEXTURE, I'm sorry, that one's illegal. That one is illegal. But Meteor's play as well, it's so nice. They've got Karen ready to back him up if indeed he needed it. TEXTURE is also there playing aggro. It's not just a solo play, that. And yet, even if it was a solo play, he still would have won the round for them. That's the power of this Gen G team.
Right here.
Each of their players has got such a nice read on the game. And I think we don't remember enough what player development they've done too. Meteor was a bit of an all-in no-brain duelist player before he joined his team.
Certainly was.
Now, all of the aim and a brain to match.
Yeah, and a team as well that's just right there beside him. All on the same page. Cooking up plays together. They're aware of just any obstacles that might face them as well. You can see it just the way that they even approach rounds like this. It's against an eco round. A lot of teams will sometimes just run it straight into a site, full disrespect. But Gen G, they slow it down. They make sure that they can methodically try and pick apart what these Sentinels are doing. If there were any concerns, I think, about Gen G potentially being shaky and home soil and a home crowd. Listen, that was kind of pushed back at Shanghai when they were literally the villains. All the way through, it's an open side again over towards
Ada yang ace, ada yang clutch. Gak ada ya.
Yeah, what incredible range of emotions that they will have experienced in their last 2 international events.
Wah, satu lagi nih. 5 lawan 1. 5 lawan 1.
Shanghai, a crowd that disdained them, I think. And then here, where they're the hometown
Flawless kah?
heroes.
The idols, man, on the big stage.
Flawless.
I was walking in today, and as they rolled up, some fans, it's like the back of the building where people don't really, you know, think to come. It's not like Gen G announced what time they were going to arrive at the venue.
Yeah.
People, fans from Seoul, clustered, watching them exit the van, screaming at the Gen G players. This team is popular out here.
Absolutely.
And they'll be even more popular if they have a big run at champs, or even if we can dare to dream, if they can dare to dream, lift the trophy.
They've already done it once. First time it's been done for Pacific. That was Gen G who did it. Despite the expectations, I think most of us were probably looking towards a team like PaperX, maybe even DRX at points to be that team. But they've had a crazy story from the beginning of this year where the expectations were honestly at their lowest tier, and a lot's going to be asked for again of TENZ to smoke down. What is that? Adjustment and expectation for Texture, but he's already in through the site, and the main players happy to fire through.
Why?
Follow up on all of it.
TENZ,
Despite the heroics, it might not even be enough here for Sentinels. No command. Sweeps its way, but finally fading, and now a very deep lockdown is going to be used by Meteor. Drone broken, slide tag, double faced up and out, but just missing a shot.
Are they even going to get out?
I don't know. Detainment on the three. Yeah. Or three.
Oh!
Time to hunt. It's time to chase. They know it. They can feel it.
Why? 3 yang kena. Ya pemain Sentinel yang kena. Kena ultinya Killjoy.
Around here, potentially. A punishment inside.
Wow.
There's no time here for Sentinels to make a play
Luar
towards this.
biasa.
Taken, but the operator again adds another level of difficulty. It's all about how they manage this one as well. That late backstab that might be occurring from Meteor. Is it going to be caught? Celsius sticking out onto the fuse, half already. He's brought out Wincon, covering for it over the shoulder. Celsius dropping him.
There is no way
That's ridiculous.
the Sentinels have just won a round where all 3 of the retakers got detained. There is no way that I just watched that. There's no chance. I must have got something wrong. Surely that was John Cutie's ultimate. What? The brain is baffled and befuddled.
Merinding loh gua nontonnya, Cok.
Started with TENZ, this guy here. I said he's going to have to do a lot there in that spot, and he did. He delivered. He got the 2 that was needed. And as soon as the detainment wasn't followed up on, offered up an easy kill onto Texture.
I mean, it's not like Texture really could have followed up on it, I don't think.
It was so far away.
All right, so that's a bizarre round for Sentinels to get on the board. I don't think you'll ever see anything like that one again. Certainly not replicable, if you want to talk about that. But they keep the Odin. It's magnificent for their economy, which could have been shattered.
Always the way. Start gassing up a team in terms of the storylines about him lifting trophies, and then watch the fumble in place. Operator held, but not the back. Still a few shots fired off as well. That drone has to be broken. Celsius locks it down, holds the line, and now evacuates back and away. The adjustment of bullet straight through the wall, and spam from Leoden will supplement all. That is it, and away. Sentinels complete control of this B site. Spike dropped down, and with the trip alerting them exactly to where Munchkin's presence is. It's another round that's inevitable here for Sentinels, and at least that second one, Justin Flick missed, at least with the op.
It is inevitable.
It should be. Unless you give him the ones, but blinded up, TENZ happy to just jump on the chance and pounces straight into mid. So maybe this is what we were looking for from Sentinels.
That was a better defensive setup. When you're running a Cypher deadlock composition, I think most of the time you're going to be wanting to try to hit them as they come through choke points or as they hit your utility. You're looking to follow up on trips and stuns to op them or Odin them before they even exit and get into the site. That's one of the rounds where we actually see Sentinels comp functioning. And because Celsius was able to win a really crucial duel against Meteor too. So what have Gen G got? It's going to be Zekken looking towards top mid, hoping they can get a cheeky one at the beginning against somebody like Meteor.
Drone up though. This will push him back. It needs to be broken by the rifle fire, but it's not done in time. And almost a punishment there. It was an over the top with the knife, almost getting that suppression off. He wouldn't have been able to escape.
Look at this deep trip though. The trip is not where that shock dart just went for it. It's all the way close towards mid. Almost right where Meteor's back was.
Yeah, so Lackey's shock darts that he's fired off, offloaded into mid. Not going to be getting too much value. TENZ has to use the TPs, barely out of dodge. Annihilation, there's a connection. Molly down and
that's the spike.
Texture has to drop them. He's through and out. They're going to try and flood themselves in. Gen G. Happy to fight them straight back at you. Second, Bladestorm now increasing that tempo and even offered up a rifle. Charon now with the plant. 2v3. Dart fired off. No reveals inside, but jumps round and through and away with a right click. Zekken, he's on his way to an ace. But Lucky in his back pocket, at least with that Hunter's Fury, he's got that backup plan and policy. Charon still going to be nested up, holding deep, tucked onto the A side. It's a difficult player to try and clear. And Sentinel's now making a call to double up. They don't have a dart. It's 20 seconds until that arrives, and it's going to be too late if they try and wait this one out and through. Time already ticking. Smoke is just minding from Charon, making them spam away, and they got to stick this one here, and they still haven't found it. I just dashed away to the win. Time, and there is no time. Ticking at this point. Sassy knows it. Gen G with their fifth.
Lakon kena ultinya Sofa, kena temannya sendiri. Aduh.
Watching Lakia be taking out Karen with the Hunter's Fury towards the end, but just making sure that
sendiri,
just in case his his Smokes player fell in hell. Gen G take another one, and this is a round where it looked like Sentinels again. Their system was working. They got the annihilation off. It grabbed a player with the spike, but I don't think they were anticipating as heavily that it was an A split and someone could retrieve that player. Pulled out of Shelop's grasp at the final moment. And we're into the next round, where Munchkin, I think, is the player to watch here. That null command is spectacularly powerful against Sentinel's composition. And you see here that John has put his stuns on the exact opposite side of the map.
I'm hoping if the ult does get ripped off out towards the A site, they'll be able to at least play around, like you said, the sensors, the stuns.
In some sense, Zelsis is the bait here. He kind of wants to be seen, be shown, and then you run into A and forget about the deadlock util.
Right here.
Knife over the top. That's a tag out through main darts. Meteor barely alive. Dyson with death there, buddy. Drop down to 8 health. Will be able to survive though, and now regroup with the rest of his team.
A split, null command. Watch out for these sensors.
Yeah. The pressure's going to be on immediately. What have they got to even answer this? Flash clear. Cam over the top here. No command as well as dart. Does reveal all. Both players, in fact. TENZ and Zelsis, the position is noted, recognized, stunned up, but there's no follow-up. TENZ, he can't take these easy fights. He's worried about it. Being swung from main as well, picked apart. I mean, methodical is what you call that. Gen G, there was no easy access, no fair fight to be taken for the anchoring players. Dodging and weaving the entire way through.
The Gen G protocols on attack, when they hit the A site, they're magnificent. They're always guns out, not scaling too deep into the site, holding, waiting for that peek from the defender, holding head, waiting for the backup to arrive. You know, making sure that they're not caught in transition, running forward, trying to rush things.
And it just makes the anchoring players feel so alone.
Yeah. You don't know if someone's going to run at you from left side, from right side Jenny. You don't know if someone's going to run at you from Dice. And the whole time, Jenny actually just making you afraid, making you swing, and then ready to punish you. It's really excellent stuff. All the best teams in the world are going to have some level of that approach to the A site, but Gen G looking perfect with it.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things anyway that makes them best in the world on this map. I think they're demonstrating it here. You're noticing as well that the deadlock, I gotta say, it's finding very little value.
Yeah.
The walls, it's difficult to find a good timing to use that mesh barrier, or barrier mesh, sorry, because Munchkin's happy to call a slow round where it just expires. So if you use it in the mid round, okay, that's fine, but Gen G are probably going to pivot in another direction.
Yeah.
And the stuns, I mean, in that round, null command comes through. There's double stuns on site.
But it doesn't matter.
No possibility of a follow-up.
It just doesn't matter.
At that point, they're cosmetic.
Yeah. And TENZ, when that hit was coming through, not sure what ended up happening. Even if he had smokes available, I think null command would have stretched past him, would have prevented him from being able to lock off that anchoring main site. But you can feel it when he doesn't have the util available. When they're all cut off and away and suppressed. They had no option. They couldn't take the fight by swinging out from Gen to try and play off the stuns in the first place. Gen G looking unstoppable on Ascent, as we were all kind of expecting.
I think there are things that Sentinels can adjust here, though. First of all, they could try doing some reclays over towards A main with Gravnet and a Paranoia, something like that. Alternatively, if they wanted to fight over tree control, that would be another good adaptation, I think, because Gen.G have been doing a lot of A splitting.
Yeah.
And the other thing they could try to do is tuck Zekken in the box at back heaven with his operator.
Well, you
so
say that.
when the hit comes through, he's there ready to collect.
They are pinging that spot already, Gen.G, heading into this round.
Apa ini ada emot nangis?
Ult over there, though.
Okay, all right. Show me something, Gen.G. Show me what you've been cooking. Might be that potential for it to spot out these players. Early Paranoia lets him take that control out towards A. TENZ in through Y, and he's in danger though. Has to dodge and around way, can't survive it. Karen out the back, John QT. That's a
Why ada sticker nih kelas?
There's possibilities and options are now opening themselves here for Sentinels. The barrier mesh not to be broken. Doesn't even stop the bullets as well. Still with those sight lines just being set by these Sentinels players. Second's got it.
Great adaptation from Sen. Surely Gen.G can't recover it.
There's no way.
I mean, John is stuck here.
They know where he is. There's a Nano swarm to try and clear him out of that corner.
If it hadn't missed, John would be a dead man.
And he has called for the reinforcements. Two players ready to at least swing off his contact. Dart is broken here and through John. Finally delivering the reset from Meteor. Not enough to see he can at least find a way to pave his way to that victory in the round. So Sentinels are still alive. For now, it feels like almost every single round is just on the precipice. It's almost incredibly labored, but they are managing to string them together.
Yeah, and I think good, you gotta credit the tactical timeout there. They get TENZ into Wine. Could he have been cleared? Absolutely. Should Texture have maybe waited a second for the fragment grenade to come through? Yeah, also. Yeah. But TENZ does get the value from his positioning there. And on top of that, there are multiple layers of backup. John is fighting it. Zeken's got the op there too. And now Zeken makes his way over with the operator to Cat. Like I said, this is a spot that GG has been walking down. If they feel bold enough to go for something where, you know, they can smoke off tiles and have him peek towards top mid, Zeken could try to get more bold than he is. Problem is, normally you need teammates to help you, and this is quite a passive comp.
Yeah.
You don't have a KO player or a Killjoy player that really wants to be holding angles for your op.
Gen.G just trying to sow a bit of confusion into this round. They've already inserted Karon right at the beginning. He has a main control. And now looking to see if they can break some of this util towards B, farm up the orbs.
And if he does farm the orb, he'll have the null command.
Are you going to try and fake this one or what? No, Texture's back up towards
because
mid.
Because Munchkin didn't have ult to start the round, Zellsis is not in an anti-KO ult spot. You know, both Sentinels are playing next to their utility, which means null command is used and all of it goes offline.
Yeah. So I'm going to have to worry about that one when it's looking like it's heading towards that A side as well, again being called. But it's 30 seconds now into the round. It's getting a bit, I think, a little bit tight here in terms of the timing for Gen.G. You have to make a good go of things, and it's all expected. Stack of players of Sentinels.
First time the wall's in the right spot.
Yeah, and there it is, dropping them off here with an old command. It's going to be sweeping through now. Dart around to the side. Texture is not watched for. This guy was already just fast up onto the line, and with all the util down, again, you might as well roll out the red carpet. Man down now. Gen.G are ready. They've got the protocols in place just in case there are signs of that util. Meteor holding it tucked up close as well. There's no follow-up. Again, still up and over. Able to trade it. The door into their face and a full sight defense occurring here by Gen.G. Nobody looking to try and repurpose out through A main. Everybody locked onto the sights here, but the one way they choose to fight this one. They want to hold it down, and again, this retake is getting more and more difficult. Dart immediately dealt with. Time is ticking away. Sentinels running out of those options. Double up, high-low. Gonna try and push them back and away. Lakia, last one left, and he will fall in the end. So, just in time here for Sentinels, I believe.
Yeah, only about a second on the clock, though.
Oh. Yeah, right on the money.
Hampir saja. Detik-detik meledaknya spike. Masih bisa di-defuse.
Gen.G. That pressure coming through, double swing over towards heaven, making sure that they dominate that angle. The Gen.G players in the post plant couldn't hold it, ended up giving that up and tucking into positions like Dice and Hell. At that point, Senna found their opportunity. Crucial kill. And Gen G gonna take their first tactical timeout of the match.
Wow.
Their first tac timeout of champs. Coming in round 11 of map 2. Even if they get a good adjustment out of this, you know, they're not going to put together a much better attack half on Ascent. 6 rounds is already
Hello,
astonishingly
lad.
good. But it must be said, the Cypher Deadlock comps, they tend to perform counterintuitively better on attack.
All the ways to try and fight for that extremity control. You know, you can lay down sensors, much like they're trying to do, at least Sentinels, on their own defense. But yeah, it's a, you know, quite a few unknowns, I think, of how Sentinels might be looking, at least with this composition. Tier 2 North America has been playing this comp a lot. There's a lot of footage, a lot of playmaking possibilities as well. If John QT has been doing his homework, at least with the Annihilations and whatnot, grab net re-clears.
Yeah, and I just want to say for a moment that Zekken has rebounded from bottom of the scoreboard to the top. If you look at him all year long, Zekken has been amazing. Like I said, getting better and better all year. TENZ has been consistently at the top, even though they didn't make Shanghai. Zelz has still been good. It's actually been John who's dropped off in terms of his fragging, his output a little bit, compared to his astonishingly strong Madrid performance, where they lifted that trophy. I'm paying attention to John and how he gets
Lan, ini
his
kata siapa
rifle
nih
impact
yang menang?
in a lot of these rounds here at Champs.
Kata Alan siapa nih yang menang?
Forward in the transition there.
Gen G apa Sentinel?
There's plenty more players where that came from. Gen G, we're going to try and go into this one. Fast tempo, increase TENZ. Taken out, Zekken followed up to trade in sight. Only gets the one down, which was Texture. Dart revealing quite a few of them. Locked down by Meteor. This is unconventional.
I like it though. You know, we saw Sentinels before get 3 detained and still win the round. They're in a 3v4 situation here though, and this should allow a great plan. I mean, this one also planted for short. If they wanted to send somebody on a wraparound,
very heads up.
Perhaps Lakia is going to take that option.
Right here.
Things around here. Drone's going to be used again. Set that stage here.
Test, check.
First piece of util for it, but Gen G, stalwart defense that they've really cooked up here now that they've at least taken control of the site. Look at that. As soon as they hear the footsteps in the util, it's a dart and spam out from below, and already the players have repositioned. Spike is ticking away, and Sentinels realize it. Has to be that save, have to back away.
How many rounds do Sentinels need, even if they were able to get pistol their first of the match and be able to carry some momentum forwards on their attack half? I think anybody that wants to see Sen recover on Ascent here, gotta be hoping that they get this round 12.
Yeah.
It's looking dire without it. An 8-4 half, not unusual on Ascent, but it's usually the other way around, where you get your defenders in the lead.
With how dominant Gen G have been on the pistol rounds, you know, if it follows the same course, you're looking at like an 8-4 turning into a 10-4.
Yeah, and at that point, it's just curtains.
Yeah.
There's no recovery there. Zelsis coming into this round with a broken economy, Stinger, Guardian, but they still have those big heavy hitter weapons of the Op and Odin.
It's a weird buy. Bit of a mixture.
Zekken hasn't been able to really walk in front of these smokes, keeps getting pushed back and back. But he is getting the kills.
Take flight.
Well, the util to clear our mid here. Sassy with the drone. Good timing on it. But the question is, do they hear that most Gen G are already up in through Cat? Straight through the smoke. Disrespect is being shown by them. Sentinels do have stay main control. Shot missing. John now with a barrier mesh. Looking to lock them out of this spot here, but it will be spammed down as a nade in sight, but no smoke for the cross. Only propped down a little bit too late there, so Zekken happy to pick them apart. TENZ area stop. Can't quite manage it. I mean, it's Caron.
And the stun does nothing in A main.
Push them back and away. Gen G slowing it down, getting quirky with these timings. There's a stun. They can hear the sensors. Texture removes one of them. So much uncertainty rapid into their heads. They spot the player. Texture's shoulder just peeking out, and yet still squares up to it. The challenge is met. And now drop down onto the site. Options thoroughly opened. Gen G having to take their timing with it. You can look at the peak timing, but still missing with the shot as well. He can't quite do it. That's the ball out of shorty. Zekken, not a chance. Doesn't stand it. And leaves it to just 2. Munchkin is low. Could be an opening. Lakia will fall.
This
Stinger
is
movement in play.
So doable for Sentinels. The health advantage is massive.
Now picking up the upgrade too with a rifle. Cam should be clearing at least a portion of it, but you don't know there's blind spots. Munchkin peeks. They know where he is. 4 seconds until the dart. Spamming away into hell. Just in case that reposition is there. Dart round towards the back. They spot the main player out there, all falling low. And again, it has to be Munchkin as that playmaker finds the one. Peaking timing off of it. Only 5 bullets left, but a tap from Sassy as well. It's all so unlikely for him, and he needs to hit the second. Time ticking, forced to stick it, and time not enough on Sun's side.
It's an 8-4 half, where Gen.G on the attack side look absolutely dominant. Trying to stamp their mark early on Ascent here at Champions. Home territory of Seoul, home territory of Ascent. I think showcasing that they really are the best in the world on this map.
Yeah.
There wasn't so much an exec in that final round as they just walked up with an operator.
Still found the openings though. I mean, listen, this team is so good at picking apart all sorts of it. And for the pistol round, that's what we're looking towards. Gen.G, indomitable so far.
Juga ya. Di Gen.G GG sih kalau kata gua, guys.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Ntar guys.
If there's any chances for Sentinels, of course it has to start on the pistol. I feel like I say that often with a lot of different teams, but when you're up against Gen.G, who are not only trying to, make a name for themselves in their home country this time, it's home soil, but also looking like potentially one of the favorites to win the whole thing, it's another question entirely of whether they can even stand up to it.
Sentinels, they're our only team to have beaten Gen.G internationally, and while that might feel like it's a positive on the side of Sen, it also speaks to the fact that Gen.G got cleanly out of Swiss and stomped through Shanghai. That's a scary, scary team on the other side of the stage. And they're 8-4 up, 5 rounds away from being able to move on in their group.
Yeah. Let's take a look then. Sentinels. They're the ones that have to be the playmakers. Gen.G also going for a bit of a proactive play. The Towers crunch on the pistol.
They love running set plays on the defense side, Gen.G. They will constantly try to push the tempo up. Happy to play retake.
Yeah.
Against this comp, though, I don't think they should be too happy to play retake. You're going to be running into, Gravnet, trips, stuns.
For now, though, the util is going to be lacking ever so slightly onto the pistol. Celsius forced to lock down. Watch this flank angle. Just gets barely the 2 shots off. Not enough to drop care on. So the trade is there, but Zekken taking a cheeky peek. Up through heaven, clears that one out, and now has to be aware that there is that flank occurring. Watchful eyes perched up, probably a high-low as well, and the smoke make it nice and easy. Karen trying to at least split up the site. Create that timing and opening for Meteor, potentially there. He's already out though, and the players are straight through and out. The whiff might cost them still. Dart forwards, forces the issue out of texture, and they do clean it up. So Sentinels, a pistol round under their belt, maybe something to work with.
First of the series could not have come at a better time, a more needed time. It probably would have been game over had they lost that one.
Yeah.
Beautiful dart as well from Sassy. They immediately dominated those smokes that Karen threw out there, which I think is the correct play. The dart forced somebody in, Sassy deals with them. He's having a good game today, Sassy. They're going to need more than this, though. We've seen teams utilizing this Cypher deadlock composition. You kind of piece by piece take the map. You know, take a main, throw down a sonic sensor, take a little bit of extra space, put your trip into position or something.
There's a fight to be taken here. Need a defeat though. Has to push them back in a way, at least with the rifle spam. Able to take down another of these Gen G players, but he might have just done enough damage. Still, weapons are going to be exchanged.
Sepertinya melakukan pengejaran nih Sentinel, guys.
And any Gen G pushes on other parts of the map should be able to be identified. You're always going to be running into a trip or a cam or somebody watching the flank.
Okay,
what is
that is
timing?
Pure instinct from Keron. He's TP'd in a way. There's a slight gap.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no, he's caught.
You're stuck.
It's still Sentinels choose not to commit. I think they've seen enough bodies there. Signs of life from Gen G. Did they call this pause? They do have 45 seconds. You can't let anything else slip, though, if you are Sentinels. It's a 3v3 in a crossfire setup. Baiting the shots. Keron's there. Meteor alongside it. Do not lose this one, Sentinels. Your best chance in a bloody long time, and you got to clean it up.
Lawan dua
Bagi
nih.
left alone.
2 lawan
20 seconds.
1.
Still, they don't know where this guy is, but the door's going to be closing. Nobody stepping past it. Just spots the feet. Breaking the door, trying to take the fight. It's a little bit uncertain, man. I mean, okay, they do get the anti-eco, but at the cost of losing 3 of their players, 3 of their guns is not going to be a healthy bonus.
I mean, you saw it on the faces there as Elsus and Sassy. They're both wiping their brow, literally. I know it's hot in here. Golden Boy talked about it before. It is warm in Korea right now. But that one's more of a sign of relief than a sign of the heat. Sen closed the gap to 2, but the bonus is not going to look pretty. They only kept the Phantom, Guardian. They've got a Stinger to work with here. It's not much. A bit of damage. Maybe even just building up to one of these ults like the Annihilation for John so that he could maybe work a pick in round 16. These are the kind of things that would be a success in the round, I think, for Sen.
Flash peek. Smog though from... He's pushed up in front of Karen's face. Not able to get value, it's just being held by the Sentinels players. They don't have particularly spread out default, but they do have somebody util the cam and a trip to hold deep B push.
Yeah, we're seeing Sentinels take a main, but they're not actually leaving utility there. Normally with this composition, I would expect to see Sonic Sensor be put down there or some kind of, you know, trip or leave a player, deposit somebody into a main.
Yeah.
Now they're going back in though. Sassy looking to try to drone and disguise the fact.
Yeah, Sentinels trying to make this one feel like it could potentially be that B split.
Yeah, that's a weird one because they faked a B split as they were droning A.
Right, so Gen G are kind of aware of this one. Munchkin is an off angle and he's got to deliver. Will do with the first. Cage in his face. Preemptive spam will lay claim to a multitude of kills.
Ace ka?
Down to TENZ, up and over, not enough. Can't overcome it.
Tidak ace, tidak clutch, tidak flawless.
That Champions Trophy blinks into and out of existence, floating, tinting, taunting the players. Rifles back online though for Sen. An opportunity for them to showcase what they've been working on. We haven't seen them play too much of this map.
No.
But we've seen the Cypher Deadlock. We know that it's got at least some good fundamentals to work on. Gonna need to see Zalsis trading out stuff like this though.
Yeah, there's gonna be an early fight occurring into this next round. Tiles beat out by Texture.
The Cypher should be able to take a little more aggro B main control as well.
Cage triggered.
Trip broken, Zalsis not ready for that one. Not looking to use his cam to take super aggro B main either. It is a bit more of a passive approach to Sen than we've seen from other teams running this comp. Tentative.
Yeah, looking for those openings, Gen G. Doesn't give them too much though. Shock Dart, just out of range, I think, to do damage enough to break the alarm bot.
That's a very weak alarm bot.
Yeah. Can't see the health bar, but I'm sure it'll be minuscule.
Be crazy if the alarm bot clutched now. 1 HP.
A bit of spam though. It's going to be exchanged now here. Turret at least broken. Meteor, he is not shy, is he? This guy is happy to push back up, make it really difficult to take any B main control. Already breaking that cam, backing away. 38 seconds.
They got that deep wall down mid, but they didn't break the alarm bot.
So is the call?
They've got to go into a B split.
There's plenty of players ready to meet them. Gen.G tucked up to crossfire setup. Logs to the corner. Lakia has to do a lot here. It's running and gunning to trade it up, but they weren't expecting it again. Meteor delivers. It's a death blow. And it might just be an around-winning moment. Indeed it is. A three-piece to finish it. 10-6 Gen.G. Looking on pace now to just take this map away.
Yeah, that's going to knock the economy for Sentinels. Could be the death blow. I love that smoke. Everybody's throwing that same smoke now. Learn it for your ranked games as well. The one-way cross map helps out your players to defend against the B split. Perfect from Karen, and it sets up this crossfire so beautifully. And Lucky is tucked into a corner. The Sentinels players, as they come out, they're checking stairs, wondering if someone's peeking from there. Because Meteor, he loves to play that spot. Yeah. Then they check switch, because you never know, Texture could be playing in that kind of position. There's just so many ways that Gen.G could be threatening you on defense. It's difficult to account for them all. And even if you did know that that crossfire setup was there, good luck dealing with it. Like I said, that could have been the death blow, and Sentinels are going to take a tactical timeout to try to figure out where they can go from here.
That's a real difficult ask, I think. With how active Gen.G are on their defense, it's either, you know, a bit of a trap play setup or maybe just a set play at the beginning of rounds that they will throw out. But even when they're just making sure that they can play it slow, you know, you saw in that last round, turret gets broken, Meteor immediately vacuums up the space.
Yeah.
Disrespects B main, makes sure that Sentinels can't take it with a cam, can't hold it easily.
And not only does that slow Sentinels down, but it also allows Gen.G much better information. We talk all the time about Munchkin making these amazing reads on defense. Part of it's because his players are willing to contest util. And if you peek back into B main and you see 5 players on the other side and Meteor bounces, well, now that's really good info. But if Meteor's able to re-clear B main, he knows that a hit is not coming straight back through.
Yeah.
It just helps every aspect of their game. That constant war of attrition that Gen.G force you to fight.
Half buys the Sentinels. Be rare to see a return on those investments. Caron still locks it up here. That's spam. Being offloaded, Texture does manage to at least get 2, but it's even out and it has handed guns over.
Yeah, that's a major win for Sentinels.
Munchkin, there's a drone in his face. It's not being watched. Into the smoke. Oh. The awareness is off the charts.
Tinggal TENZ.
Easy kill. But now he knows that TENZ is lurking. Not long for the world. But again, another high game IQ moment from Munchkin there. He hears the drone. He knows.
Bener kan Gen.G yang menang, guys. Wah, Noni.
Yeah, that's so good. And also getting the read that that player is going to be on the left.
Yeah.
He knows that there's a rifle down in that kind of situation, predicts the timing. I mean, timing's the drone as well, beautifully. And a situation that was looking like a potential win condition for Sentinels, ripped out of their hands so quickly. They're now going to have to find a different avenue of success. Sassy with the Odin ready to counter spam. But Texture, he hasn't been walking up B main with the op yet. This has been Meteor's domain.
11-6 nih.
And they're going to expect him to be here.
Deep shot darts, not have to clear this trip here. Sassy. It's a drone for a drone. Texture is hiding from it. Again, so in misinformation. Shot missed though, Hunter's Fury. This feels like it's quite a committed push. And damage done, even a kill for Sassy, maybe enough to pave the way. It calls for that reinforcement. Karen instantly TPs.
Very good ult from Sassy. Very good read to now go for an A split.
They've pulled these players apart, but Munchkin again could be that thorn in their side once more. Weapon glowing. This guy is on fire. Grab net. Gets that confirmation potentially there. Flood defending in, right through the back. Annihilation and clearing in and through. Sentinels do have the necessary plays. You don't want to be handing care on too many more though. They're doubled up holding this one. Side by side. Bit of spam hailing down the lead, so still in it. At least for now, Sentinels.
They get that.
Great call from John. As soon as you hear that ult being used, I think it's very likely they're sticking the teleport into back B. He decides to send things on an A split, anticipating that A is weaker. And Munchkin's already realized what's happening and sent a couple players over there, but Sen grouped up, decisive, love to see it. And Sassy continues to have one of the best games that I've seen from him in a long time.
Oh, yeah.
He was top of the scoreboard for a hot minute there on Haven, and now he's back up, at least on the Sentinel side, with 13 kills. Having a great day.
Doesn't get much easier, though. This time, Texture going walkabout up through mid. Angle's being held for him. He's hoping that somebody will just wade right into it. Dash is fading. This is hyper committed.
This is the kind of thing that Zekken just couldn't do.
Zekken's holding to pixel angle. Oh, but no! Just missed it. The crossover Texture takes it away. Caron, heavy committed now into bottom mid. He needs to be defended and he needs some help to get out of here. That's what the drone is for. Up and over.
Right here.
Clears the path.
When Lakia and Karen are willing to be that aggressive, it allows Texture to do this.
This is not potentially getting cleared off. Angle traded. But again, reinforcements are there. Out through the back of the side. That's TENZ committing. Caron dominates the smoke. He will not be stopped. And a paranoia puts TENZ in his place.
The recon in that position is supposed to stop Karen from doing that. Your recon, he's caught out in the open, has to break it, gives away his position, forced to swing into the smoke. He's checkmated. He's swinging into a smoke that two of the people are already in. He can't get away with it. Opened up nicely with Gen G's aggression, which, like I said, their comp benefits them. Not something that Sentinels could ever really do, support Zekken in that kind of way on their defense half. But monster performance from Karen, up to 20 kills.
The cams are broken. One more round that's needed here for Gen G for their opening match of champs. They have not slowed down a beat. Up and over. Bladestorm in the hands. Texture is releasing just absolutely unbelievable form.
I can't use that.
Sentinels left to stew and simmer.
Knives back out though for Zekken.
Munchkin will fade away. Now Sauber back to the wall. Texture reveals his position. 3 left available to work with. Blinded up Meteor. He spots it, betrayed by the barrel. A 2-0 finish. Gen G looking large and in charge, not slowing down from prior performances.
Wow,
They are
GG.
aiming and gunning for that trophy.
Revenge for the grand finals of Masters Madrid. Both of these teams were tied at 4 maps apiece heading into the match today. And now Gen G have taken the lead, both in terms of that head-to-head series all year and in the maps. I think they outclassed Sentinels today. They showcased that divergence of the trajectories for both of these teams. There's a reason that Sentinels came in here based on their championship points, and Gen G are coming in looking like favorites to lift the trophy.
There's a warm welcome, the tail end here for the series. Of course, Sentinels, you know, they are fan favorites even here in Korea, but it's even bigger fan favorites right in front of them here. Gen G with that 2-0 win. Looking nasty, man.
I am disappointed that we didn't get to see Abyss from either of these two teams. First time Gen G have ever floated a brand new map. They've been permabanning it all the other times. Felt like a trap. Sentinels were happy to opt into it. We were denied it today because the form from Gen G, just ridiculous with the 2-0. We'll have to wait until later on in the tournament for that kind of delight as we get to see squads like, I'm expecting Gen G and Fnatic to both be fantastic on those new maps.
Fantastic.
But who knows?
Yeah,
it's a complete unknown.
A lot of unknowns when you're heading into these international tournaments about how teams are prepared and ready, but it was a hell of a task ahead of Sentinels to try and take this one. They might be the only team that's beaten them really on an international stage, but they couldn't quite replicate it. Not here for champs. It's a team that has just evolved over and over again. Every single game that Gen G have played, they just look like they're going from strength to strength.
They certainly do. It wouldn't surprise anyone, I think, if Gen G picked up a trophy here, but it's a long, long road ahead.
Oh yeah, early days.
A good first step along that path, however, taking down Sentinels.
Yeah, definitely early days, but like you said, it's a good first step to be taking.
And the crowd will be extremely happy in terms of opening things up here. In Seoul, intimate venue to open things up, not like the way that we'll end up closing. But the crowd could not find a team to better represent the Pacific region and South Korea, the mecca, the home of esports.
Yeah.
Ada interview.
Esports for quite some time.
Here comes Texture.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're just waiting for the interview to get set up now. But yeah.
I love any time we get to hear from Texture. It's so good. You saw his reaction earlier when he failed the ace.
Absolutely. Let's send it down to the floor for the interview.
Welcome down to the stage, Jen Lee here alongside Texture, of course, after Genji takes down Sentinels. Now massive congrats. Texture, I feel like you guys had some unfinished business facing Sentinels today. They were the only team that beat you at a global event, and you beat them today, right off the bat. So a great start to Champions, right? 텍스 선수 오늘 승리 축하드립니다. 오늘 오면서 유일하게 젠지에게 패배를 선물한 팀이 센티널스였는데 개막전부터 그냥 빠르게 해치웠습니다. 시작이 좋은 것 같아요. 오늘 경기
인터뷰 dulu
어떻게
guys,
보셨나요?
인터뷰.
좀 재밌게 그냥 저희 하던 느낌대로 그냥 잘 한 것 같아요.
We tried to have fun and play our own game, so yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with how it went down. Now, you guys are on a different trajectory, you and Sentinels, post-Madrid, of course. Sentinels and
Beda tampilan nih Jen Lee ya guys. Potong pendek nih rambutnya. Biasanya panjang.
So how does Sentinels today compare to
오케이
the
sih.
Sentinels that you faced in the Grand Finals in Masters Madrid? 근데 이제 젠지와 센티널스가 그 마드리드 이후에 좀 다른 흐름을 보여주고 있잖아요. 젠지는 있는 트로피들 다 쓸어 담았고 센티널스는 약간 흔들리는 모습을 보여줬는데 그 결승전 때 만났던 센티널스에 비해서 오늘의 센티널스는 좀 어떻게 느껴졌을까요?
사실 센티넬은 아직도 잘하는 팀이라고 생각을 하고 있긴 한데요. 근데 솔직히 저희가 마드리드 때보다 훨씬 더 성장을 많이 했고 더 강해졌다고 생각을 하기 때문에 뭔가 저희가 더 성장을 많이 했다고 생각해요. 그래가지고 오늘 그냥 승리 따낸 것 같습니다.
Sentinels are a really strong team, but for Genji specifically, we grew a lot as a team post Madrid. So I think today's win just goes off to prove how much growth we had as a team ever since then. And I think it's our own growth and us becoming a strong team that led us to today's win. Now, lastly, Texture, you've had 13 or 12, I was told, 4Ks since your last ace. You missed one today as well. So how are we feeling about that ace that you missed today? Are you gonna get it the next match? 텍스 선수 에이스 하고 나서 마지막으로 에이스 한 거에 비해서 이제 4킬을 13번, 12번 에이스를 미스한 게 그만큼 많다는 뜻이잖아요. 그래서 오늘 좀 그 놓친 에이스에 대해서 어떻게 느끼고 있는지 리액션은 봤지만 그리고 다음 매치에 에이스 하면 되겠죠?
에이스 하고 싶고요. 그리고 사실 에이스를 언제 마지막으로 했는지도 지금 기억도 안 나요 저는.
4월이었대요 4월.
진짜요? 하여튼 4월 오래됐네요. 하여튼 언젠간 하겠죠. 이기는 게 일단 최우선이니까. 근데 누가 먹었더라 마지막에? 종민이가 먹었었나?
마피아.
근데 좀 진짜 서운하네요.
Honestly, I really want another ace, but I don't even remember the last time I had an ace. And I told him it was April, and he said, it's been such a long time, and whatever it takes for my team to win, I will do. But I would like another ace. Maybe I'll get it the next match or in the upcoming matches.
Berarti ini
He said,
lagi ya guys.
apologize to him for
Depannya
stealing
lebih baik.
his opportunity to get that ace. It's been a while, but thank you, Texture, and congratulations once again. Best of luck. 승리 축하드립니다.
감사합니다.
Everybody give it up for
Oke guys. Oke guys, sampai sini dulu live. Oke guys, kita sampai sini dulu live kita hari ini. Insya Allah kita ketemu lagi di live selanjutnya. Guys, thank you buat teman-teman semua yang udah nonton. Mungkin FPX lawan ini kita lihat nantilah ya. Kalau enggak gue nonton offline ya guys ya. Thank you buat teman-teman semua. I'll see you again in the next live stream. Yang jangan lupa follow sosial media gue untuk update terbarunya. Ada Instagram, TikTok, Facebook dan juga lain-lain. Oke? Sampai jumpa di live stream selanjutnya.